Hey everyone, your girl is here. So I just officially did my teeth. I did want to come on and actually share. I was just thinking of this. So obviously, tomorrow actually, um, well, yeah, I don't actually know where I could film in my yard. Maybe not. Definitely on Wednesday though. We will officially go ahead and tie or I'm sorry, we're just gonna use that rope as it is. Um, and practice, throwing it out and seeing how far it goes without like an end anchor, right? Which would obviously just be an end weight. And obviously, the end weight is also known as the GoPro, right? So, the perfect amount of weight, too, because you don't want too much weight where it just falls down right away, right? So, I was thinking, you guys remember that like really strong rope, right? So, obviously, kind of like my phone charger, but much stronger than that. They had it at Lowe's. What I would do is I would put that through that little ring in my GoPro, and that would be the end weight. And then I would make my own kind of like, well, actually, no, actually, never mind. Actually, that cancels that idea. Because I was thinking I could make my own like little end anchor, right? Like that weight throwing that I saw in the Olympics. So I could just make that. But then I'm also gonna have to deal with the rope. No, because my momentum would make the rope. See, because I was thinking, then I would just attach the rest of the rope onto, my own little, equivalent, right? But that's actually not going to work. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. Well, see, I'm trying to think how I can make that work. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I make my own little weight, and then it had like an actual handle, right? Like people do when they're crawling up a man-made rope, right? A man-made ladder rope, right? So kind of have something like that be that I'm holding, right? And the rest of it is connected to the GoPro. And then I'm spinning around. And as I'm spinning around, if I hold it up high enough and there is enough slack, actually, yes, if there's enough slack, I don't think that the rope would be following with me. Oh my god, guys, no way. So, like I said, though, I have to really think that over, and think the physics of that over, um, and how would I have slack? Would I have to be close? Would I have to be far away? Still some things to think about with that, but that's definitely the kind of rope and rope, anchor rope. We'll call it anchor rope, right? So that's definitely the kind though that you need, um, and because they are pretty much right offshore at the shark bite capital of the world, guys, because that's why they're the shark bite capital of the world. So because they're literally like right offshore. I'm probably only going to need probably about 25 feet, which will be amazing because you guys remember that rope in total was only like $1, right? So it's just over $1, I think, a foot. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't remember actually, but I can look back through. So, like I said, though, it's not really that much, which will be super, super nice because I don't need that much. And I'm also able to walk out and not like sink in, right, too, which is also really, really good because then if you want to get up and move quickly, you can, right? And I shared that before. With that's obviously part of why a lot of surfers like it there because you can actually go in like chest deep, and all of that, and not have to worry about okay, as I'm getting ready to stand up on the surfboard, right? Well, you lose your footing and then you have to go back to square one, right? So that's obviously why that is surfer heavy there, right? And obviously, just north too in Daytona, they also have the same, kind of like hardened sand and all of that. So yeah, like I said, guys, just was thinking of that when I was um, going ahead and brushing my teeth. I was like, wait, why don't I just use that rope? you know, and this is the biggest month, right? So because of that, like I said, we're going to practice with that regular rope, you know, and just see how we do, you know, and actually, you know, I mean, the weight difference is so minute that actually, as I'm practicing with the rope, it will be the same for practicing with, um, you know, the actual anchor rope. There we go. So practicing with the rope will be the equivalent of practicing with the anchor rope as far as the weight, right? And how much slack do I need and stuff like that. So I just realized all of that. Heck yeah, guys. So anyhow, guys, I'm officially going to go ahead and get going. I will not be dreaming of sharks, right? And shark bites. So anyhow, guys, I'll officially, though, go ahead and get going. I'm going to come on and share what I was thinking of whenever I was getting ready for brushing my teeth. So anyhow, guys, we'll officially go ahead and get going. I'll talk to you guys later. Everyone, your girl is here. It's now officially 7 in the morning, believe it or not. And literally, I've already done my cereal for this morning. So I also went ahead and disconnected my GoPro chargers. So this morning, I don't need to put on the light vest because I already know that it actually snugs in there really well. But I am going to try a wide view angle today and kind of check it out, you know, and see. But like I said, I am also going to try to bust out some stuff and figure out how I can, you know, get it to like tilt down a little bit. I think that'll be cool. So yes, you guys can definitely tell, guys, we are getting closer and closer, guys. So close to my 40-day mark because, again, like I said, I was up at 6:15. I did sleep in 15 minutes just because it was rumbling around, and, you know, I did obviously do a lot yesterday, and I've been really, really high on my steps recently, so, you know, take a day to sleep in a little bit, right? So, for reals, guys, because I'm going to be bouncing off the walls almost time, guys. So, yes. And then, like I said, we'll officially work more on that rope, right? The anchor rope, right? Or the throwing rope, right? We'll work on that. And then we'll just keep right on rolling. So, anyhow, I did want to come on and just do a little morning update. That's what I did. Slept in about 15 minutes and got breakfast. So, now I'll officially go ahead and get a little bit of exercise. Slowly, though, right? Slowly, right? And then we can really, really enjoy our time here before work. And that'll be that. So, anyhow, guys, I'll talk to everyone soon. Alright, guys, here it officially is now. This is considered hyperview. This is considered superview. And this is wide, exactly like last night. Alright, guys, so it actually looks like that hyperview, that middle one will be the best. Obviously, you guys can see it doesn't go the whole way through this screw if you have it on both, but I promise that would work, and I can just tell that it would work. So I'm going to try to figure out how I can get this to work. And then back on with you guys, and then we'll talk about any other little final additions that I might have to do, you know, or tweak, and stuff like that. So I'll be back on with you guys soon. Alright, guys, so here it is now. You guys can officially see this would be the perfect. This would be absolutely perfect. See, as you guys can see. And as you guys can see, I was just thinking, actually, this is a eureka idea. So obviously, I can just have an S-hook and have the front little half here, right? So have like, because how am I going to connect something that's vertical to, well, vertical this, to horizontal the GoPro? So why don't I just put like an S-hook big enough to snug around here, and then have like 1 or 2 actual links of the chain, and then have that final S-hook for the GoPro. Because let me think. Because I'm connecting those 2 links, but I think I'm overthinking that because it's so big, there'll be so much play, and I want it nice and snug, just like that GoPro for my GoPro drops. So if I have a big S hook and then I have that very front end hook, maybe I just clamping it down enough. Actually, yeah, clamp it the rest of the way around, and then, or I could even do like a washer even. Remember how because this is like a washer, right? Well, but the only thing is that you can't get it bigger and then smaller at the same time. You know, like this is obviously bigger, so you need to go bigger, right, to go down over this, but then you can't make it smaller, right? But like I said, you know, why don't I see about like a big S hook that won't have a whole bunch of play? And even actually, no, it wouldn't because it's closed, right? Just how there isn't much play on that GoPro that's attached because it's very little play, right? So just again, get a big S hook, clamp the first S through here, then that second S will just have 2 chain links attached to it. And I'm sure there's stuff I can do to, you know, make it, you know, easier. Like if I really wanted to, so like it wouldn't have much play, like I could probably take like a saw even, and just make it like a really rough surface and terrain with grooves on both sides of those 2 chain links. And then again, at the end of the 2 chain links would be that GoPro set up there, right? So heck yeah, I really think that would work. I don't think I'm overthinking that at all, you know, because you're going to have an S hook and then you're not going to have much play. And it'll be able to stay on there with the 2 chain. But would you probably need, I probably might need a little more. No, just enough to do an angle, you know, because you guys saw that angle held really, really well with those 2 chain links. And you're already like tight and snug against this, right? But you do want it away from your body a little bit. You know, and now with the wind, I don't even think the wind would even do anything, honestly. I don't think, because it's nice and snug in there, you know. And it's definitely not going to break, right? Wind won't break metal. Well, wind can break metal by other forces, or just entirely, right, by itself, right, like a tornado, right? So it just rips up metal and just wails it 10 miles down the road. Maybe not 10 miles, probably like 5 miles maybe, but yeah, you see the point. Wail, just wail it down the road. I mean, heck, they lift up cows and throw them, what, 3 miles down the road? Right, like 2-ton things, right? 2 tons, 4 tons. Yeah, cows are a lot of pounds, guys. So, yes. Anyhow, so like I said, I'm thinking that would actually work, because there's not really much play around this. And then even there is like a swivel on my bendable leg, but you guys saw that didn't really work that well, because it doesn't actually go at an angle, like it stays right in line with how you want it. But it is nice to have the swivel, obviously, for, you know, whenever you do put it on the small tree and all of that. So I do think that a small little S-hook, like I said, with closing it really tight, putting on 2 chain links then, with just a real, like, you know, a grooves, right? So it stays in that groove. But again, whenever I actually close it, it could actually be taut enough that I won't even need to worry about that, you know? So, like I said, if necessary, right, I can always saw it, or I'm sure there's other ways to scrape at metal enough until you get like a dent in it, right? And I do also have some tools too, and you guys saw whenever I was trying to break it, right, testing my strength. So yeah, I do think that would actually work really, really well. And that's probably my best bet, honestly. So yeah, like I said, I'll officially, you know, probably go to Lowe's on one of my days off here, and we'll try to get that little contraption all made. And actually, I'll probably buy a little handsaw. Well, no, actually, Graham has one. Yeah, Graham has a saw that will cut through that hardened steel. So I think that's a good idea, and that's a good start. So anyhow, guys, I'm officially now going to go ahead watch more YouTube. I didn't do any videos this morning just because I was, you know, waking up and getting ready, and bouncing off the walls. Very, very reasonable, though. So I definitely foresee a 3 a.m. day coming up very soon. But like I said, there wasn't many videos just because, you know, I did wake up early. I only slept in about 15 minutes. And then I just, you know, had breakfast and got my steps. And I did watch the Florida news, you know, some Florida news, their weather reports. And actually, Florida is actually starting back to school, which is crazy. So they obviously don't do that here in Pennsylvania, you know, so that's kind of cool, right? But anyhow, and then also, I did watch an MMA, kind of self-defense. They only had that one girl. I thought they were gonna have all four, like they said at the start of the video. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool, honestly, to see. But a lot of I did look at some of the comments, then at the end. And obviously, yes, I do agree. That is only they're not giving it their all, right? So it's like, yeah, in real life, it's even worse than that, right? But yeah, so it's really, really cool, you know, little video, honestly, to see. You know, she definitely used a lot of good techniques, you know, and back elbows, you know, and stayed good on her feet, you know. And obviously she used the wall, well, the regular person, not the MMA. So the regular person used the wall to, like, use leverage and, like, kick back, you know. And they also didn't use the wall to be like, oh my god, now I'm completely cornered, right? Like, they made that, like, their strong stance, right? So that was kind of cool. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it was definitely kind of a really, you know, cool, and realistic, too, you know, as much as obviously they could make it, you know, without actually hurting each other. You know, so yeah, that was really, really a cool video to watch. And then, like I said, figure out the Florida. I did actually subscribe to the channel as well. It was called KMG, was it? WKMG or something. Channel 6 in Orlando, which is actually the CBS station for New Smyrna Beach, too. So, because I got to start watching their weather. And there is actually a CBS station in the Florida Keys, but CBS Miami actually covers the Keys too. So it's like WFOR and I forget what the Keys call letters were. It was like kind of like the Keys, right? It was like KYY or something. The Keys. So anyhow, yeah, I definitely don't understand New Smyrna or Orlando, right? WKMG, you know. So anyhow, like I said, just want to come on and share all of that nice little morning information. And yeah, like I said, it's probably definitely that hyper view, you know. So that's really, really cool. Anyhow, and I did also want to come on and share as well. So obviously she did change her profile picture. And I only ever showed I'm talking the slightest little piece ever of her old profile picture. But the location one is actually #1, guys. So it's been about a year, right? Because she actually hasn't came up a lot, which is crazy. But yeah, she was actually #1 in my... she was actually #1 in my suggestions today, which you guys know what that means. So that was crazy, guys. That was wild. You know, because I had just sent her that text on Sunday. So she still hasn't looked at it, which is kind of weird. But she also could have looked at it too. Because, you know, you can just get the notification, right, and like scroll it down, right, and make the notification whole. So she might have seen a little bit. I don't know if you could actually see the whole thing if you just, you know, like for example, right, with your text, right, you can scroll down on your main tab and you can see a little bit of what they said, but you can't see the whole thing though. So I don't know, honestly. But like I said, I thought that was crazy, guys. She's right there, right? #1. So that's cool as well. But yeah, like I said, guys, we'll officially go ahead and get going. Just want to come on, do those updates, and share why no videos this morning. Share the GoPro updates and what we're going to be doing. share Florida updates, and share other videos that I've been watching here this morning. So, and I did also look at the Pirates too. So they're also really, really low on chances of making the playoffs. So I was thinking about getting caught up on their stuff, but I probably won't. Maybe towards the end of the season, around after fall, this winter, I'll look at all the games that happened at PNC Park, and I'll watch all the highlights and see if my game is still up there. But you guys remember, before Florida, or was it during Florida? It was one of the two. Obviously, they had the Washington Nationals that they scored like 14 runs. And that was a nomination for one of those, if you guys remember. So yeah, like I said, guys, we'll officially go ahead and get going. I'll pick out another video to watch, and then we'll just keep right on rolling here this morning. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Because he's real dizzy again. His legs are real weak.
Maybe we can go tomorrow with him again.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. Maybe
about 10 days, right before Florida and in April, it was about 20 days, Momo. So maybe we'll take them with 40 days left. Just about 40 days.
But
Everyone, your girl is here. So I just got done with some videos of animals being freed. Obviously, the cheetah and the rhino and the alligator and the eagles were definitely my top 4 favorites so far. Anyhow, I did want to also come on and share as well that I might actually just get like a suction cup maybe too, but actually no, that's not big enough. But actually I'm gonna try that idea first, and just kind of see the amount of play that I can have, and get, or actually this is really good, get that first chain link, or get the S-hook big enough, there we go, that the chain link will just barely, like, it'll be really, really tight, but it'll fit, right? So have that be for that first chain link, and then that second one, you can have, be, or, depending on, like, the height of the chain link, it might actually be enough, to just go ahead and do that. And that would actually save me a little bit of money, too, from the GoPro. So definitely something to think about, because GoPro also has some. So maybe we'll get that, and we'll check it out. So anyhow, I just want to come on and share that. And then I did just watch a Jenna Sinatra, and I also picked out a couple other videos for me to watch later. There was a kind of a new test, right? So they tested adult-only cruises, so I'm going to check that one out and see what that one's about. But yeah, other than that then, guys, I'm officially going to go ahead now, like I said, about 11:15, go get some breakfast for dinner, breakfast for lunch. I'm going to have some eggs, and then some of that sausage in there too. And then I'm also going to have, because I did get 5 pounds of it, so I'm going to have that, and then I'll have some noodles, and then I'll have some corn. So we got 2 corns left, so I'll officially warm all that up and have that for lunch. But other than that, then that'll pretty much be today's video. So I'll officially go ahead and get going. And then, like I said, guys, we got a really fun day coming up here. Really good set of days off, and I'm very happy and excited for all the little, cool things that will come up. So anyhow, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, blonde moment is over. I officially looked at the grooves, and I looked at the little indents here on the, this little bottom flat piece. And I was like, Alyssa, blonde moments, girl, blonde moments, right? Blonde moments. So yes, as you guys can officially see, it does fit on there perfectly. Now the only thing is, finding a selfie stick or something to put this on. Or it actually, and I don't want to remove it yet. You guys can see there's a sticker there, and there's actually going to be enough here on this back side that I could probably get something for like on my shoulder, right? Well, maybe not on my shoulder. I'll probably just do it on my head, honestly. But then I'll have to test it and make sure, But yeah, like I said, I'll just have to, put it on my shoulder, strap it around my shoulder. But I don't want to remove the stickiness now until I figure out exactly what I'll be using it for. But even with the stickiness, I'll probably want something else too. So yeah, like I said, we'll start with, we just did my chest. So now, if I don't think that I'm going to be able to have a tripod, connect this to a tripod in any way, shape, or form, then my chest is obviously out and we'll have to work on my head. So, yeah, I'll just wear like a nice helmet, right? Kind of thing. So, anyhow, guys, I want to come on and share that. Time to stop with the blonde moments, Tuesday. So, anyhow, guys, I'll officially talk to everyone tomorrow.